Hi, my name is Angela and welcome to my channel, La Luna Ray. So today I will be making candles. I'm going to show you how I like to make my intention candles. I will specifically be making a Valentine's Day candle. It is February and a friend of mine is in need of a Valentine's Day candle. So that's what I'll be doing. I will go through my entire process with you. So please stay tuned if you're interested. Right here I have what do I have? I have my beeswax sheets. So I'm gonna be, this is what I use when I make my candles. I'm just gonna this will represent my red candle for now. So red is a beautiful color that is always, always, always used for love, right? Whenever you see anything, anything, when you're talking about love, you're gonna see red all over the place. Red hearts, red everything. So what red in the spiritual community represents is love and vitality. But another thing that I feel like the love aspect and the vitality aspect that can be represented by the color red is kind of almost like, it's like a small piece of what it truly represents. So red candles can really also represent crossing thresholds. All right, so as the girl is transitioning into a woman and she's crossing that threshold, she gets her menses, right? Red. Another time that you will see the color red is when you get married, right? That's love, you know, that's all of that. So what do you think of? You think of red, right? Red is a perfect color to represent love, and that's what's happening when you're getting married. So that's another threshold. Other thresholds, birth. When I gave birth to my boys, I definitely saw some blood. So that's also something that you're going to see when you're giving birth. There's blood and red also being represented, and even in death. I'm a nurse and I work in the ICU, and I see people, unfortunately I see people die often, and again, it's a common color that is, I'm not saying that when you die you're necessarily going to be bleeding out, but anyway, your blood changes though, right? Your blood changes when you're born, and your blood changes again when you die. Those are thresholds. So I feel like the color red really represents major thresholds that happen in our lives. I'm sure there's so many other things that I'm not even thinking about. But yes, so that's the biggest thing that red represents. Thresholds. I'm crossing over thresholds. And so when you're asking to bring love into your life, you're asking for another threshold to be crossed in your life. That's when you're really looking for true, sustaining, long-lasting love. That is what you're calling it, another threshold. And it doesn't even have to be a marriage partner. You know, people come into our lives and they stay for a long time. They make big differences in our lives. We don't necessarily have to marry them. So again, that's still another threshold. So anyway, when you're calling in love, you're calling in another threshold. But that's what red represents. Pink. I mean, I feel like pink, and I feel like I also have like, I guess I don't know if this is like blush and this is like pink, but these are just lighter shades of red, right? So it's just, I think it's calling in the same energy, maybe to a lesser point, or just in a different way, kind of whatever you intend for these to mean for you. But it's the same thing. It's still calling in a threshold, and in this case, calling in love, because this is a Valentine's Day love candle. So now that I went over the colors properly, the next thing I want to talk about is, so explain what I'm even holding here, right? Because what the heck what are these things? Hold on. So I've got like a little itty bitty honeycomb floating around in my tea. So now I've got all these beeswax floating at the top of my tea. You can't see it, but I don't mind it. It's not bad. So if you see me chewing, that's what I'm chewing on, the beeswax that I keep picking up. But it's perfect because that's what these are. These are beeswax sheets, okay? So I love working with beeswax sheets for my candle making. I find them to be so useful because you are able to add in so many ingredients into your candle and really boost the performance of your intention and really help you to manifest what it is you're putting into your candle. So that's why I love working with my beeswax sheets. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do. So please stay tuned to the rest of this video. Actually, and there's a few other things I wanted to mention about using the benefits of using beeswax sheets. So I like to also use them, other than being able to put all of my ingredients in and make them super potent. I also like to, the benefits. Let me read them. Hold on. Okay, so beeswax candles. Beeswax candles are a little bit better than paraffin or wax candles because beeswax candles have the ability to produce negative ions. So producing negative ions into the air helps to neutralize pollutants in the air. So it's really great for people that, for like asthmatics. It's also great for people with allergies. If you light beeswax candles, it actually changes the air, reduces the pollutants, and in a way it kind of repels that negative energy and just kind of pulls out things that are harmful out of the air. So I love using beeswax candles all around, because I love using beeswax candles in general because of that aspect, how they can clean the air. But I love using beeswax sheets in particular because I can really add in all of my ingredients to make them very powerful for what I intend them to do. So now that I've finished that, we can actually get into how I'm gonna make my Valentine's Day candle. So mandrake. Mandrake is the first thing that I am adding. So mandrake is used for love and fertility. It can, I want to use it for fertility because I want to bring in I think it's just more like just not true love, but kind of just bring in the love that is meant for her right now in her life. I don't want anybody to show up that's, not meant to be there. I kind of just want it to be, okay, so there's a little backstory, I guess, that I should mention. I do cards, and when I did her cards recently, twin flame energy showed up. And so now she's like, well, who was this? And, she's got a few ideas, but what I'm going to ask for her right now is that twin flame that showed up in her card reading, just bring that energy closer to her, right? So she can I'm also asking for more clarity for her, bring in this love that I saw around her, and kind of bring it in its own timing, but to speed it up if possible. But anyway, that's what this is going to be about. I'm making her some Valentine's Day candles about her twin flame that I saw in her reading for her. So that's what I'm doing. So anyway, mandrake is in there. Oh, all right, so the next thing I have is my rose hips. I don't use much rose hips. Actually, I just want to use like 2 rose hips. Rose brings in love. It's not like, it's like a gentle, sweet love energy. So that's what rose will do. I've got her jasmine here. So jasmine is going to be something that's really sweet. I love the gentle beauty energy of jasmine. So I'm going to be adding jasmine into the herbs here as well. Bee pollen. I love working with bee pollen. I think bee pollen is excellent because it can, hold on, I wanted to show it to you actually. So you can see, I don't know if you can see. Oh, perfect. So bee pollen. Bee pollen is an attracting energy that I want to use out of the bee pollen. So I'm going to add some bee pollen, not too much, I don't really need that much, but it's an attracting energy, kind of like the way bees are attracted to pollen, right? I want this twin flame energy that we saw in her reading to kind of be attracted and come towards her, kind of both of them mutually attracting and bringing that energy closer in. So hibiscus. Hibiscus, and I have all my notes too. I don't know, look at them. Hold on. All right, so hibiscus, it's for love, but it's also for a little lust. I don't think lust is always bad. I think it's sometimes a little, that's not terrible to have either. So just a little bit. Maybe that's a big chunk. Maybe they're all big chunks. Well, maybe it's meant to be. I'm gonna just throw it in there. But a little of that hibiscus, I think it brings in that power that you want to have in your love energy. Cloves bring in a loving energy as well, and I also love how they bring in a purifying aspect to the love energy. So you kind of want a love that's kind of meant for you, right? You don't want something that you don't want to force anything or force anyone. So I love the love, the purifying of the loving energy that cloves can bring to my mix here. I have patchouli. Now patchouli is just a beautiful, seductive type of herb. Do this, and my reasoning for adding this is kind of like bringing in that sexiness, bringing in that irresistibleness to this blend here. Now I've got my rose petals here. Now rose petals are just, you know, it's Valentine's Day. You gotta have roses. It's a sweet, loving energy. I don't think that it's necessarily the most potent type of love energy, but I think it's important to always add when you're putting together a love blend. The next thing I have is my dragon's blood. Dragon's blood is red, it's powerful, it's that passion, but it's also that boost that you can add to anything that you're doing. So I'm gonna add in dragon's blood. Let me just kind of, just enough, not too much. All right. A little bit of that. The next thing I have is chicory. So chicory root is used to kind of, I think it's used to, I look at it as moving out blockages. Whatever could be blocking the energy. If there are blockages, maybe something she needs to work on herself, maybe something he needs to work on for kind of preparing themselves to meet each other and be in the right space mentally, emotionally to receive each other, right? So that's what chicory can help do. It can help release any blockages and help them work through anything they need to work through in themselves. So a little chicory. Cardamon. I love cardamon, and I just bought it at the grocery store. I love cardamon though. Cardamon is a sweet little kick to this love powder that I have here, or these herbs that I have here. It's going to really, and let me just show you, but anyway, it's going to really add just a little heat and a little kick to the love energy, and kind of also kind of not speed up the process, but really help them start to work through whatever it is that's holding them back from getting to each other, right? I'll show you what it looks like real quick before I start to, you can see it's not too bad. It's a beautiful little blend. My fresh thyme. So I wanted to add some fresh thyme to this because I really want to, the way I use thyme, and I can look up the traditional. Thyme can represent health, healing, love, and purification. So it's kind of like, what I look at it is making this thyme kind of helping them both to create and make this particular time the right time for their love to blossom, for them to meet, and for them to become closer to each other. So that's what I use thyme for, kind of making this time the right time, kind of helping them get to the point where, you know, it's time for them to meet. See what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. So I don't know, I'm like really picky with my time here, but gotta take your time with time. All right. Hopefully you can still hear me while I crush my herbs here. But anyway, I did a reading for her, and it was really clear that her twin flame was really close, if not already there. And they were, you know, they were already, I think it was just that they were really close to each other. So that twin flame energy was near her. She has no idea what the heck a twin flame is. So she had to look it up, and then she like texts me. She's like, oh my God. So anyway, I wanted to do a video about candle making, and I thought it would be a great time to just go ahead and do a candle for her for Valentine's Day, just to bring her twin flame closer to her, if that is truly the case. Kind of help them both make space in their lives, in their minds, and in their hearts, and emotionally make space for each other so that they can be ready and kind of make, you know, kind of make their interest into each other's lives in that way meaningful and beautiful. Oh, another thing that I really want to incorporate here, let me get that to the side real quick here, is the apple. So the apple and the apple seed represent love. Oh, look, perfect. A seed is right there. Represent love. I want to keep these seeds. That's what I'm looking for. And I love that little star. I cut this a while ago, but look at that little star that shows. I love it. But anyway, what I'm looking for is the apple seed. I want these seeds because I want to incorporate that into her candle. Her Valentine's Day love candle. So apples have been used for love work for many years, and so that's why I grabbed an apple for her. I believe the tradition is like you're supposed to eat in half and then your lover is supposed to eat another half. It's supposed to bring good luck to your love life between you and that person. But anyway, I just want to get the seeds out. I feel like bringing in the apple really just bring in that fertility that the apple can also represent, and kind of giving birth to something and the growth of something loving. You know, it's red, it's fruitful, it's beautiful, it's delicious, and I just think it's something that can bring that loving energy into her life as well. So doing two of them because one will represent my friend and the other will represent the twin flame that we saw in her reading, kind of so she can burn them together and kind of help bring their energy closer to one another. So that's what I'm going to do for her. Real quick, I meant to mention where I get my beeswaxes from. I've got this huge box. I don't even know if this is, I actually ordered, they come like this. They come in huge sheets. Like this is like, hold on so you can see it. Beeswax candles. Oh, here's the, it's by Totally Handmade. It's this huge box that I get. Let me turn my camera for a second. I get this huge box. I order them from Amazon. You can actually order them from Totally Handmade. They have a website, but they have all of these colors. This I got from the traditional multicolor box, but then I also bought this pastels. So these pastels, I'm going to show you, these colors are gorgeous. We've got such gorgeous colors here that you can work with. And these are just the pastel group. The other one is just more of traditional colors. I got this more out of the traditional color box. But anyway, I got them on Amazon. They're not too expensive. Maybe, I don't know, like $30 or so for a whole box of 10 sheets. And the sheets are, I believe they are 8 inches by, oh my gosh, I want to say 16, 8 by 16. Anyway, I love them. I love working with them. And I clearly have cut these down. I don't know what this is called. Crafty candles. I don't know. It's just candle candle wick. I bought it from Hobby Lobby. I don't think it was expensive. I have no idea how much it was. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is use my oils. Now, the oils that I plan on using for her, okay, there they are. So the first thing I like to do is actually line my beeswax sheets with oils. I've already saged them both. I saged all 3 of them earlier after I cut them in half and all the cutting I did. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in my hand. I have this rose oil that I created. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's a beautiful love oil that I created. And I have been using it for so long. I get compliments on this thing all the time. So anyway, I'm going to be using, this is like my home one too. This isn't even my, anyway, so I'm going to be adding this love oil into both of these sheets, okay? So anointing it, and whatever oil you have, you don't have to have made your own or whatever you have, but just get some oil, kind of anoint it, and use the intention of bringing loving energy to your sheets, okay? So now they're both lined. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of those wonderful herbs that I put together for her, and I'm going to just kind of sprinkle it. Sprinkle it in. Sprinkle it in. Okay? Now, I have another thing here. This is honey essential oil. So, I don't know if you can see it. It's just called, it's Wild Mountain Honey Essential Oil. And I'm going to, even though beeswax is already something that represents honey and attractiveness, I'm also going to give it an extra kick with the beeswax honey essential oil to really bring in that attracting energy, that honey, that sweetness, that sweet loving honey and attracting energy. That's what I want. The next thing I'm going to incorporate here is a little love powder that I have. Now this I want to be super careful with. I mean, like, super careful. I'm actually going to pour a little bit in my hand. This is like a beautiful little powder. Okay, good. That's done. And I'm just going to also kind of incorporate that into her candle. Okay, so what I want to do when you start to roll, because that's what you're going to do, and start at the end. And then I want to just quickly, not quickly, but carefully wrap the edge of the beeswax around. I don't know if you can see. I don't know. I guess you can see okay. You're going to want to just cover it up completely so you see how it's totally covered now. I'll bring it up closer. It's totally covered and it kind of looks like that. Okay? And you want to keep on rolling in the same fashion. Rolling up all of that goodness. And what I do is I have to concentrate and make sure. Sometimes it cracks a little bit. I know you can probably use like a hairdryer to soften it up. And I've done that before, but you know, I find that it actually softens it up too much. And it ends up hard to, it doesn't like keep its shape anymore. Get it really tight to the wick. Alright, so what I want to incorporate here as well is some crystals. So I have some rose quartz chips that I also want to add to, hold on, okay, maybe like one more. Kind of roll them in, all these good juices I have in my hand. Alright, so I kind of want to put these rose quartz chips, am I doing it right? That's towards the bottom, yeah, okay. At the bottom of the candle, because I don't want it to be a problem while the candle's burning. So I just kind of add them in at the bottom. We'll see how that goes. There's one there, and then there's maybe a little further up. Have another one. And so now there's rose quartz kind of lining the bottom of the candle so that when it burns, you know, it'll burn. This is going to be the top. It'll burn, but then when it gets to the bottom, there'll be some rose quartz kind of sitting in the wax, you know, the melted wax, but it won't really be a problem. It won't be like a safety problem, but she'll be watching these candles anyway if it does become a problem. Got lots of herbs, lots of oils, and then I have my rose chips, rose quartz chips in there as well. We've got 2 of them, and 2 of them are one, you know, kind of like that twin flame energy, kind of 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Kind of want to stick with my 2s here. All right. So I just want to give a nice squeeze, really nice squeeze again. And so that's the first layer, and I'm going to do this again with my next layer, which is pink. Again, just a deeper shade of pink. You really want to watch it and make sure it's rolling the way you want it to. Alright, so then I'm going to push, 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 kind of sealing that down. Nice seal. Then I like to kind of squeeze it at the top a little bit. Kind of make sure that's nicely adhered. And the same thing at the bottom, I like to make sure it's... And then I take this part, and this is a little long. I'm going to cut this. It's a little too long. Right there, it's fine. But I still want it out, and I want to just push that in. Beeswax is so pliable, so it kind of just, it's really lets you do whatever you want it to do. Real quick, I also wanted to show what I just did. I decorated them. So I took some more rose quartz and I just pushed them inside of the beeswax. So now they're like on the outside, so you know when it burns down it's not really going to hit the middle, it's going to be on the outside of the candle. So it's really nice. So then what I also did is I put rose petals on a plate and I just rolled the candle back and forth in the rose petals. So now rose petals are and rose quartz is surrounding the entire outside of the candle. Alright, so that's what I did. And I did that for, oh gosh, for both of her candles. You know, it's not going to stay, you know, the rose petals, but they're going to stay for the most part. It's just nice and pretty. Then what I do, so this is what I do when I make these particular candles, because they're beeswax candles, it's not like I have a cold or anything for them. What I like to do is I go to Hobby Lobby and they sell they sell like big, like really huge stacks of these wood, I don't know, like little wood plates or whatever. They're like in a bag, you buy a bunch of them stacked up. What I do is I buy them and then I will get from my husband's little toolkit, I'll just grab a little nail and I will actually super glue the nail to the wood. And then what you can do is take your candle that you make and just put it right, you just push it right on there. And I don't want it to like that. Anyway, there it is, perfect. And you'll just, you know, it's a nice little, almost like a little, not an altar, but what am I trying to say? Just a little something for the candle to sit on. Alright, I'll do this to both of them. That's funny. Alright. Alright, so that's what I do. And that's what I did to both of them. They're just gonna sit like that, and you can just sit them anywhere you want, and that's how I make them. Alright, so I think that's everything. It's probably too much. But thank you so much if you're still watching. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you really try to maybe do like a version of this. It's a lot, but I don't mind doing the work. I actually really enjoy all the little nuances of creating all of my tools and all the things that I do. So anyway, thank you so much for staying tuned, and if you have any questions, please comment them below. If you really enjoy my videos and want to see more content of mine, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will be putting out videos at least every 2 weeks. I am a full-time, I work full-time, I'm a nurse, and I have 3 boys, a dog, and a husband, so I'm busy. But every 2 weeks or so is about what I can definitely get a video out, maybe even sooner now and then. Alright, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.